Hey team, so welcome to this little video, completely unplanned, hadn't decided to do this, but I've just been training down here at the gym, loads of ideas were flowing, so I've decided to jump on and share this with you. Now this video is perfect if you right now feel a little lost, you feel a little stuck, your motivation's coming and going, it's dipping, your energy's dropped, possibly you don't feel as switched on as you have been in the past, maybe you just feel like you need a little nudge in the right direction, possibly you're actually doing okay, but you just know that you could be giving more, getting more, or doing more to get an even better result. So whether you're in a lull right now, whether you're absolutely smashing it and you know there's another level, or whether you are somewhere in the middle. And hey, maybe you're watching this, you haven't been down for a while, and you are completely at rock bottom. This video is going to be for you. Now, the reason why I'm shooting this is because today I did not want to do my workout. I've had a busy week. I've been a little bit tired from getting to bed at 1 a.m. Early Friday morning, and I've basically ended up feeling shattered, and whenever I'm tired, motivation drops. So that's lesson number one for you. If you're lacking motivation, ask yourself, how good's my sleep right now? How good is the quality of my nutrition? And how much general movement, like going on walks, am I getting that allows me to bump my energy up? More energy, more motivation. Secondly, when you're stressed, when life is busy and you have no headspace, often the gym and motivation to train is the first thing that goes because we're so busy, our head's spinning, and we're going to get on to the theme of today's video, which is going to talk exactly about how to deal with this, because things like stress and lack of energy and your head spinning, life being busy and shit being all over the place is often the reason why you feel off track, you feel lost, you feel stuck, and then you're lacking motivation to actually show up, get results, give your best, and get the best there is on offer for you. So what I want you to do is give me a thumbs up if you're watching this, or give me a thumbs up or a love or whatever if you are ready to hear what I'm going to share with you, because I'm hoping that it's going to be super helpful. And the aim from this next 5 to 10 minutes is to give you some clarity, is to re-kickstart and rekindle that fire inside of you, and is to give you the motivation you need to take them first steps that you know build momentum. And that's the second little lesson for you today, is that momentum is key. Getting on a bike and going on a bike ride, the hardest thing is getting the bloody bike off the floor, getting on it, starting through gear 1 to 2 to 3 and working up to speed. Once you are at speed, once you have momentum, it's easier. Think about a surfer. When they're riding a wave, the hardest bit is getting the balance, going onto the knees, standing up on the surfboard, and then they get to ride the wave. Think about that when it comes to motivation and momentum. Ultimately, once we've got momentum, motivation can take care of itself. The last thing that I want to share with you here, there's two last little points actually. I was going to title this video today, I wrote it down, do something, anything, but stop thinking. Because a lot of people, when they're lacking in motivation, they've lost the focus and drive, and they stop showing up for themselves, they stop giving the best, or they are showing up but just going through the motions. What we end up tending to do is we overthink. We try and think our way out of our scenario. Now, I think it was Thomas Edison, or one of the great thinkers, that said that the level that your problem was created on, you can't solve your problem that you have right now at the same level of thinking that created it. So I want you to really think about that for a second. The problem that you have right now, it can't be solved at the same level of thinking that created the problem. You have to take yourself to a higher level of thinking, a higher level of thought. And what I mean by that is, change your environment. Stop trying to sit at home, or stop trying to be driving on your way home, or whatever it is that you do mundane day to day to try and solve your problem. Escape your environment. Say to yourself, I'm going to actually sort my shit out. I'm going to go to a coffee shop with pen and paper and I'm going to work this out. Right? I'm going to go on a walk today, and I think walks are incredible for clearing your head, because instead of looking at the same goddamn four walls in front of you, you walk on a mountain, you walk out in a field, and you can literally with your eyes see further into the distance. Now, it's no coincidence that when you're out in nature, your thoughts are clearer because you can see further. A lot of the time we say, Pete, I can't see the wood for the trees. Yeah, because you're literally in your day-to-day environment every single day, so you're stuck in the same thoughts, the same patterns, the same habits, the same beliefs, and ultimately what that does, it puts a ceiling and a lid on your thinking. When you go on holiday or you go away for the weekend, why do you think you feel recharged? Because you've changed your environment, which has changed the level and ability to think differently. Thumbs up if that makes sense. So stop trying to sit there in your bedroom, in your living room, on your dining room table trying to solve this shit. Right? Change your environment, go out for a long walk, go somewhere that you're not used to and say, I am going here with the purpose of finding answers. And the second thing that I said I wanted to share is that clarity beats motivation. One of the reasons, biggest reasons why we lack motivation is because we lack clarity. We lack clarity of the goal. Why am I showing up and training? Why am I putting in all this work, time, effort, energy? What is the point? If you cannot answer that simple question, you're screwed. So we need clarity on why we're doing this, and then we need clarity on where we're actually going, what we're trying to achieve here. Are you trying to get fitter? Are you trying to get stronger? Are you trying to build confidence? Do you want to run a 5K or a 10K? Do you want to get out of your comfort zone? Because what we as human beings intrinsically need is growth, is challenge, is movement that is forwards. You are either growing or shrinking. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. Time does never stand still. So if time's passing and you're staying the same, you're actually getting worse. You've got to consider that you've either got to push yourself to get better, more consistent, more reps, heavier weights, running further, actually just showing up for consistently for longer. So this video isn't about giving you more shit to do, it's about training your brain to see that progress has to be made in order for us to feel good. So I'm just going to check if you guys are still with me on this. I'm going to see if we've still got anyone live. Cool. And by the way, the video, for some reason, it zooms out massively, so I have no idea how my chuffing head looks on this and whether you guys can see this, but I'm sure you'll get the gist. Now, here's the biggest problem. Most people, right, over this side of the board here, are essentially, you start out on your journey, whether that's on a 6-week challenge or whether you've been with us a few years, and you start out here. And in 6 weeks, right, let's say your overall goal is to lose 3 stone. And in 6 weeks, you might get halfway to your major goal. You're 1.5 stone down. You're absolutely smashing it over here, right? And you take your measurements and it's amazing and you keep going and you keep making progress. But then because you didn't really get clear on this next goal and you didn't give it a time frame like the 6 weeks that you had initially, and because you feel like you've probably got forever to achieve it, you end up kind of just plateauing. You end up kind of just going on the straight line. You make a little bit of progress, you undo it, you make a bit of progress. But what you stop doing is you stop measuring your progress. You stop checking in on how far you've come or how much progress you've made. And here's the amazing thing, your mind is incredible, and we are well trained with black belts in catastrophizing. So our mind starts going, you're not making any progress. You're wasting your time here. Because what it's trying to do is it's trying to preserve energy. Your whole mechanism is built for survival. It's built to survive, not thrive, until we get to the point where we've covered all the survival necessities. But ultimately, your biggest goal on this earth isn't to get as lean as you can, because that's dangerous, because over the millennia of years, being lean and not having a lot of body fat would be a dangerous position to be in. What if food didn't come around for a few days or a couple of weeks? You needed your body fat stores. It's only in the last couple hundred years, maybe even 100 years, maybe even 50 years, where food's been so accessible and easy to get, and we haven't been subject to famines, and we haven't been subject to the fact that we've got no money to go out and buy food. Our body's only just catching up. So it starts to say, you're messing up here, you're risking it. And it starts to screw with you a little bit. You start to sabotage a little bit, as we call it. Because ultimately, what we end up doing is, we don't track progress, we have no data, we have no measurements, we have no weight, we have no force, because we stop doing that, because we're not in the habit of doing it. Get in the goddamn habit of tracking your progress. And if you don't know how to track progress, ask. Well, take your measurements, your photos, track the weights in your phone that you lift, and get in the habit of doing it. But the problem is, we have no data, we're not in the habit of it, so we have drama. We create mental drama because we aren't where we think we should be. Oh my God, I've got so much further to go. This is known as the shit zone. It's looking at where you are now and how much further you've got to go. It's like climbing a mountain, and you get a few, a couple hours in, you go, oh my God, it's so far to the top, I'm never going to get there. And that's what we do here, so we start to doubt ourselves, we start to think we're too far away. We start to compare where we are versus where we've got to go, and we feel like shit. Oh my God, I'm going to keep going with this to lose more weight, to get fitter. Oh, I can't do this. Because we never look back at how far we've come to where we started. So, if you feel like shit, if you feel off track, here's your problem. You are not off track. You are not doing shit. You are lost. You started here, you're trying to get to here, but you don't know where you are. You've stopped following your sat-nav, you've stopped looking at your map, and you've got no clue where you are. Thumbs up if that makes sense. You don't know where you are. And you're lost and you're panicking now. So what your mind starts to do is, what does it do? Let's go back to the familiar. What's the familiar? Where we started. Oh, at least we know that. And over time, what our mind starts to do is it convinces us that we're here. Oh, you're back at the start now, you're back at the start. Because what it's trying to do is it goes, Pete, you fucking lost, mate. You don't know where you are, you don't know what you weigh, you don't know your measurements, you've not been tracking any strength, you're kind of working to this goal, but you don't know how you're going to get there, and you've gave yourself no deadline. Imagine jumping in a taxi, right, to take you to Wakefield, but you didn't have an estimated time of arrival. Taxi pulls over, he has a coffee, smokes a fag, he goes on holiday, comes back, you're still sat in the taxi, you think, well, I'm closer to home now than there, and it gets confusing. So your first step here, when I talked about clarity beats motivation, get clear on where you are. Where are you? And the problem is, most of us, we bury his head in the sand. We don't want to know where we are. Why? Because we don't want to think that we started here, we were well on our way to getting here, that we've managed to achieve in 6 weeks, and we are scared to look and be honest and be like, shit, I've gone backwards. So it's better to not know and not be disappointed than it is to know and be disappointed. Thumbs up if that bit makes sense. Light bulbs start to go on at this point. Yeah, the reason I'm not measuring myself and weighing myself is because in my mind, I don't want to be worse off than I think I am. So I just keep guessing and guessing, but your mind doesn't like guessing. It likes certainty. It's seeking out certainty. So it's pulling you back to the start unconsciously, because at least that's certain, at least that's guaranteed. At least if that means overweight, heavy, unhappy, it's certainly there. Get goddamn clear on where you are. Are you still at the 1.5 stone mark loss? Are you still where you finished off after your 6 weeks, or wherever your last goal were, your holiday or whatever? And stop lying to yourself. Oh yeah, I'm just going to push myself and then I'll weigh myself. I just need to get my head back in the game, then I'll take stock on where I'm at. Take stock now. This comes down to being willing to be honest, and it comes down to being willing, right, to feel like you've taken a step back. Because so what? At least if we know where we are, we can get to where we want to go. If you want to get somewhere, imagine I give you a map and I say, hey, take yourself to point B, and you say, well, where's point A? And I go, I don't know. How could you get to point B on a map if you don't know where you're starting? You couldn't even read the map. So get clear on where you are. Take your measurements, your photos. Go out on a run and see how far you can get without stopping. Come down to open gym and deadlift your max weight and get goddamn clear on where am I starting from. And then draw a line in the sand. That is it now. Line drawn. This is my new start point. Forget this one. Forget this start point when I first joined Barnsley Barbell. Forget this end point when I finish my 6-week challenge and start again. No, we are starting from now. Where am I today? That's my new start point. Then I can set my goal based on that. I can now get to point B because I know where point A is. Thumbs up if that makes sense. Stop burying your head in the sand, stop hiding away, stop guessing, stop saying, I'm going to work my ass off and get back on track and then I'll be proud of myself and then I'll be able to get back where I were. No, you'll never get back to where you were and you'll never get to where you want to go if you do not know where you are. Because you lack clarity and you are overwhelmed and riddled with confusion. And then confusion, because you don't know the exact steps, your mind fills in the gaps with bullshit that gets you to come back to the start. Okay? So that's the essential bit here. And if we don't have these measurements, we have drama. And the amount of people I've spoken to in the last week alone that said, Pete, I went back and took my measurements. Pete, I went and did my photos again. Pete, I went for a run. Oh my God, I've not done as bad as I thought. Some people have said I've lost more weight since. And their mind were convincing them they've piled all the weight back on. Oh, I went for a run, I can't believe it. I was faster than the run I did a month ago and I thought I'd lost all my fitness. And that's because you don't have data to back up actual, real evidence. And the evidence, so what you have is emotion. I feel like this, I feel like that. What that's saying is, I lack any data, so I'm basing it off present feelings. I can wake up on a Sunday morning and have tons of energy and think my life's incredible. I can wake up on Monday morning, I could feel like shit and go, my life's a disaster. And the only thing that's changed is my energy and my emotions. Energy in motion is what emotions are. Emotions are transient, they're forever moving. We visit emotions, we don't live there. So what you've got to understand is your emotions aren't reliable. You can have a day where you feel on top of the world and life's good, and then the next day nothing in your life's changed, you feel like shit. What we need is data. Data, your 5K time, your max deadlift, your current weight, your measurements, photos, whatever your data points are. Don't forget in the 6-week booklet, you rate your life out of 100. That could be your data point. You don't care about your measurements, you don't care about your photos, you might not care about that. Rate yourself out of 100 on those 10 life areas. Google Wheel of Life. And if you want to go beyond just health and fitness, fill out that. Get clear on where you are. Then you can set your goal and create some clarity around how we're going to get there. And ultimately, what we end up doing is, let me just wipe down my board so I'll take a breather. You guys can kind of catch up, and I've just spoke for ages. But let's just wipe this down. Essentially, what happens is we start here, we get to here, let's call it our 6-week program or wherever the goal were, a high rocks, a holiday, a weekend away, a photo shoot, whatever your goal were, right? And you get here. Amazing. Tick. But then we kind of have a goal in the background. Oh, I would love this, but you never commit to it. Here's the problem. Most people never achieve what they want, never move forward, never actually get the results they want because they never commit to it. It would be nice. It would be nice isn't a commitment. It's flimsy. It's bullshit. You're either in or you're out. Yoda, I love referencing Yoda when I'm talking serious. He said, there is do or do not, there is no try. I heard the other day that trying is failure with honour. What you've got to consider is, are you in on your goal or are you out? You will save yourself a world of pain, time, energy and money if you just say, this ain't for me, I'm out. And choose another goal, choose another focus, choose something else, decide that you don't want to go right now, whatever. But don't fucking put your tiptoes in. Don't have one foot on first base and one on second base. No, you're in or you're out, it's black and white. And the problem is, if you are oscillating between in, out, your mind doesn't know what day it is. Am I doing it? Am I not? Do we need the motivation? Pete, did you want me to recruit all this energy? Did you want me to like get us ready and psyched up for the workout, or are we not chasing that goal now? There's no commitment, right? It's like being with a partner that's not committed to you. You know, are we in this relationship or are we not? I'm not really sure. Well, how can you build a life together if you're not in it? It's a bit like, you know, oh, I'm living in this house now, I'm going to do it up, I'm going to paint the walls, I'm going to invest some money in it, change the carpets, put a log burner in. Yeah, but we might be selling it in 3 months. Oh, well, if we're selling it in 3 months, I'm probably not going to spend all that money, time and effort on doing the house up. Yeah, but we might not be selling it in 3 months. Well, I'm not going to risk putting in all this effort if it's not a definite. Can you see that? Can you see how definite decisions and commitments are needed? So you've got to commit to your goal. Are you in? The problem is, a lot of people, it's scary. So what? It's also scary to be out. Do you know what else is scary? Fucking wasting your time, your energy. What's scary is being in the same place in 6 months because you daren't commit. What's the worst thing that happens if you go all in? You fall just a little bit short, but you're a hell of a lot better off. You might fall short of the goal, but look who you've become in the process. Now, what we end up doing is, let's go back to it. We start here, in 6 weeks we achieve this, we tick off the goal, and we don't commit. So we kind of have, oh, it'd be nice to achieve this goal, and we kind of take a little bit of action, but we don't have clarity. And before you know it, we think, because we lack data, and we're riddled with drama, that we are back at the start, and we convince ourselves we've screwed up. We convince ourselves we've messed up. We start to beat ourselves down. How good do you think you feel when you talk like shit to yourself? Right, imagine if you've got kids at home and you just beat them down. You did shit at your homework, you did shit at this, you just shit at life. Do you think that'd motivate them? Do you think if you were a bit more compassionate with your child or with yourself and you said, hey, you did incredible for those 6 weeks and I'm so proud of you. And I've just noticed over the last few weeks, you've been putting in incredible effort, but I'm just wondering, are you getting the results that you want? Are you heading where you want to go? Shall we just take a pause a second and actually check out where we're at? And then you take your measurements and you go, hey, we've actually made more progress. Or you go, hey, you know what I'm realising? We're actually taking a step back here. And we don't want this. So now we're clear on where we are. Let's make a plan to move forward. So talk to yourself with compassion. But here's the reality. When you actually bother to pull your head out of fucking sand, you realise that if you have taken a step back, it's only here. You haven't gone back to the start, you've just gone back a couple of weeks. You've just undone a little bit of progress because you went on holiday or you stopped tracking your calories or whatever. Rarely will you ever end up back here, but this is what your mind will convince has happened with the drama. So what you need to do is take the measurements. What's usually happened is that you're actually a little bit further along. Then what you have to do is actually commit to the goal and then create a plan on how you're going to get here. That's the key. And the last piece of today actually is, the reality is that this is where you started, right? This is where you got to in 6 weeks, and that's where you are now. You're a lot further along than you think. Your goal's here. Don't measure the gap here. Do not measure the difference. Don't get your tape measure and go, oh my God, I've got so much further to go. No, measure back. Measure back between now and the start point. Look at the weight that you've lost. Look at the inches that you've lost. Look at the mental health benefits that you've had. Look at the habits that you've built. Look at how much consistency you've built up. There's some of you that you haven't trained consistently all your life, and now you're doing 6 weeks, 6 months, 1 year. You're doing 2 years, 3 years, 4 years of showing up consistently. Yeah, you're not always at 100%. No one is. I'm not. The athletes of today, at the top of the game, are never on it 100%. So stop having this perception that you've always got to be giving 100%. It's not about being, yes, you're all in on your goal, but that doesn't mean you have to give 100% all the time. Impossible. Show up with consistency. And just look at yourself and be proud of the progress that you've made from now to when you started. And then instead of measuring how much further you've got to go, aim, look, plan. How am I going to get there? How am I going to get to my goal, and when? When am I going to get there? And how? And if you don't know how, you don't know about the calories that you need, you don't know about the running plan that you need, you don't know about the kind of strength sessions you need to come to or what you need to do at open gym, you don't know about the habits that you need, you don't know what's actually going to get you there, then ask me and the coaches. That's why we're here. That's why it's a Saturday morning, I'm going to a wedding in an hour's time, and I'm here pouring my heart out to give you this because I love this. So it's never a burden. Yes, we are busy people, but everyone's busy. We've always got time to help and support you and guide you. You know, some of you have been reaching out to Carl recently. Like, Carl will send you a message every couple of months and check in, hey, how are you doing? That's an invitation for you to ask for help. You know, we can't do this for you. And this is just me being blunt and honest with you now. Help is here. Stop trying to do it on your own. And I get it. Sometimes we feel like a fool asking for help when we know what to do. Sometimes, as human beings, we just want to own it. We want to say, I did this. I didn't ask for help. There's pride. But pride will often get in your way, and pride's holding you back. And pride is costing you a hell of a lot of results. No one in this entire world achieved anything in their life without help from others. No one. There's this idea of like being self-made. I'm a self-made man, I'm a self-made woman. Bullshit. There's always people in the world that help us. And the more help you get, less ego-driven activity you can involve yourself in the sense of, oh, I've got to do it all myself so I can say that, you know, this was all me. And just say, you know what? Actually, I'll get there a hell of a lot quicker, easier, and probably a lot less unscared if I just ask for help. So make a declaration to yourself, right? When I get stuck, I'm going to ask for help. Here's what I've learned over the last few years. The faster I ask for help, the quicker I get results. The faster I ask for help, the quicker I get results. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you helped someone in your life? How many times? Tens, hundreds, thousands? Let me ask you another question. How many times have you felt good for helping someone? When they've come over and said, thank you so much for your help. They've hugged you and they've said, I couldn't have done it without you. How much of an incredible feeling is that? Yet every time you do not ask me for help, Carl, Matt, Lee, Ash, Katie for help, when you don't ask us for help, you are robbing us of the opportunity to feel good. You are robbing us of being able to live our passion and purpose. Don't do that. Ask for help. So I kind of want to wrap up this video with a bit of summary because it's gone on a little, not a tangent, this is everything that I wanted to cover. And I didn't know, again, I didn't have a plan for this. This is kind of just top of mind of kind of where my head's been. Because I stop and start at times. I revert back. I don't do the measurements. I don't take the photos. That's what happened today. I'm not going to bullshit you here and pretend that I'm perfect like I probably, you know, a few years back. I tried to be perfect Pete. I tried to look like I had my shit together so I wouldn't, you know, how can I stand at the front of a class and kind of not have my shit together and try and set an example and not be a good example. I realised that was a shit example by trying to put on a false persona of who I really weren't. So I'm happy to kind of accept my flaws. I don't get it perfect. I shared photos of me in Marbella recently, and I'm probably, you know, in the best shape I've ever been in my entire life. But then I did the 10K at the weekend and got my arse handed to me. I got a real nice wake-up call and lesson that, you know, the way that you look physically doesn't always represent what you're able to physically do. You know, often we say, you know, I want my body to look better, but what we forget is just how well it's performing. You know, we often look in the mirror and go, oh, you know, I can see myself in the mirror and I'm not happy with that, and it's all shit and it's all doom and gloom. But what we forget is that when we write a workout up on the board and you're smashing this workout and smashing that workout and you did the run and you did the calories and you did the burpees and you couldn't do any of them when you first joined us, oh no, that's not progress because the mirror says otherwise. And I've had a real nice reminder recently that progress can look like this in the mirror. It can also look like this in a gym session. It can look like both. It's up to you what you define as progress, what you define as success. So here's, I'm going to write it out as a clear written plan, step by step, everything that we've covered, so you can go away and action this. Step number 1 is clarity. Get clear on where I am. Now, while I'm writing out this plan, here's what I'm going to ask for you 6 people that are watching it live, and every single one of you that watches it on replay. What have you taken home from this video so far? You've got about 2 or 3 minutes while I'm explaining this last little bit of the video before I wrap up. Go home, shower, have food, and get to the wedding for 1 p.m. It's in town, by the way, so I'm all good. What have you taken home? Why has this been helpful? What light bulb's gone off for you? What have you heard today where you're like, I can go home and apply this? And the reason I'm asking you to do this is for 2 reasons. Number 1, when you write something down, you remember it at a deeper level. Your brain holds on to it. It goes, hey, incredible. This must have been important information because I made myself write it down. So it'll stick for longer, so you'll benefit for longer. And you'll get better results as a result of being clear on what actually mattered here, right now. Let's face it, our phones are busy. We're going to be busy the rest of the day, the weekend. Get clear, write it down. Secondly, someone's going to watch this video, someone's going to scroll past this video, they're going to see a load of positive, incredible comments. And they're going to go, this is worth watching now. I put out a lot of videos, a lot of content. Some of you might go, it's too much, I need to pick and choose. Someone will see, this one's worth watching. It's probably a half an hour, 40 minutes long, whatever. I'm going to dedicate the time because Chris said that it was valuable because of this. Di said that it was valuable watching it because here's what I learned from it. And someone will go, oh my God, it's worth me watching it now. So the first thing is like get clear on where I am now. Where are you? This could be measurements. This could be photos. This could be weight in terms of scale weight. As much as I don't like it, some of you do. This could be actually lifting weights in the gym, coming down to open gym. This could be going out for a run and tracking your best 5K time, or how far can you run for distance without stopping, and get clear. The second thing, when we've got clear on where we are, is to actually celebrate or recognise how far you've come from the start to now. So that could be physically. How much has your body changed? Inches you've lost, weight that you've lost. Remind yourself of the progress you've made. So you actually look at progress, right? You look at the photos and you compare them. You look at the weight, the measurements, right? You do the 5K time and you compare yourself. And then you get to the mental benefits. What mental benefits have I had? What habits have I had? Because here's the thing, you'll forget all the shit that you weren't doing before you started. What habits am I doing? Am I sleeping better? Is stress lower? Do I have friends now? Have I met people here? I'm a part of the community. Am I more consistent? 10 wins. 10 wins. 10 positives. 10 things that you are, and a lot of people hate this word because they're not used to it, proud of yourself for. 10 things that you're proud of yourself for. And then when we've done that, we ask yourself, where am I going? Where am I going? What's the goal? Reason most people aren't motivated, no goal. Reason most people aren't motivated, no clarity, just confusion, not clear on where they are, not clear on how far they've come, think it's pointless, don't realise they're actually doing better than they think. Where am I going? What's the goal? What's the focus? Why am I even showing up and doing this? That's the point of it. So why am I bothering? Oh, I want to be in better shape. Bullshit, that ain't going to get you to the gym. I can give you 10 reasons not to come to the gym. Being in better shape ain't strong enough. You need purpose. You need fuel. Your why is your fuel to get you here. And then how? How are you going to achieve the thing you want to achieve? How are you going to get there? How? What's the secret? What's the first step? And you can break this down. What does it look like over the week? What do I do every single week without failure to get there? I meal plan. I meal prep. Maybe you just plan out your lunches. Maybe you don't want to do the whole meal prep thing. It's not for you, right? I buy in, food's already prepped. I don't snack, right? Whatever it is. What are the weekly habits that you have to do as non-negotiables? What are the daily habits of the person that's already achieved the goal that you want? Because here's what it's about. This is about an identity shift. It's about you showing up now as the person that you want to be. Fast forward 6 weeks, 6 months, to the end of the year, whatever it is, right? Who am I when I've achieved this, when I've arrived there, when I've hit my goal? Who am I? Fast forward. Use your God-given ability of imagination to close your eyes, relax, daydream, and see yourself already there. You've already achieved it. How does it feel? What do you see in the mirror? How proud of you are you? What do people say to you? Soak it in, smell it in, breathe it in, touch it. Imagine it's already real, right? And then ask yourself, who do I need to be? Or what do I need to do daily to achieve this? You don't just magically make that happen. You become the person that would have that kind of result. This is evolution. This is where you evolve into someone that you are not. This is why goals never really matter. It's who you become in the process. So if you turn around and you go, I want a six-pack, or I want to be running a 10K in under an hour, there's a good chance six-pack Paul, right, walks to the shop. He might do 10,000 steps a day. It's a good chance he ain't smashing out a takeaway because he's planning his calories. He's planning his meals. He thinks strategically. 10K Tammy, on the other hand, 10K, she probably runs 3 times a week. If that's the case, you want to be planning your runs in. You want to become a runner. And the last thing that I want to ask you is, what's your I am statement? I am. If you were to sum up where you're going and who you're going to be in the process, right? I am a runner. I am someone who consistently works out. I am lean, fit and strong. What is your I am? And that's going to bolster your identity. That's going to sink deep down who you are, right? We have, deep down in our subconscious, and it's a building governor that puts a ceiling on our results. The more you work on this, get clear on where you're going, why it matters, how you're going to get there, and you start showing up with the identity of the person that's achieved it, with daily actions and habits that back up that identity and where you're going, and you are clear on my I am statement. I am fit, fast, and strong. That was mine for years. Before I could run, my I am statement was I am a runner. Shout out to Claire, who took on a load of challenges up on the build up to a 40th. She did a challenge every single month for 12 months. You know, she was saying, I haven't run a marathon before. So we came up with an I am statement of, I am a marathon runner. And you go, Pete, that's bullshit. I've never run a marathon. How can I say I'm a marathon runner? Because if you write a lie down on a piece of paper and read it often enough, you start to believe it. Think of all the lies you were told by your parents as children when they said, oh, by the way, if you eat carrots, you can see in the dark. Or if you turn the light on in the car, you know, you get sent to jail. If you put your tooth under the pillow, the tooth fairy comes. And you believed it. Why? Through repetition. Through repetition, you start to believe it. So if you start to say, I am a runner, over time, you'll start to sink that into what's known as your subconscious mind. And ultimately, it's your subconscious that will act out the behaviours, the actions, the habits that get you to bring this about in your reality. The reason most people don't achieve what they want is because they say they want this goal, but then they don't believe they're capable of achieving it. How do you become in a position where you believe you're capable of achieving it? By getting clear on where you're going, why it matters, and how you're going to get there. Once you've got all that locked into place, you start surrounding yourself with people that have achieved it. They are living proof that it's possible. You surround yourself with people that support you, and you come back to your goals often. You imagine yourself already there. How do you think we got to the moon? How do you think we did the 4-minute mile? How do you think we achieved every single thing as human beings we've achieved on this planet? How do you think we built the first chair? Someone was sat there, chairs didn't exist. and they were like, oh, I'm really uncomfortable sitting on the floor. So they started to dream up something that was more comfortable, and before you knew it, they built on the physical plane of life a physical replica of the chair. They took an idea in their mind and they made it physical in the real world. And that's what you've got to do with your results. You imagine it first, you get clear on all of this stuff, the actual plan, and then you build out a statement, I am this, and ultimately it becomes real in your physical world. Completely unplanned this, but it's the level of thinking that I'm spending a lot of time on in my life, and I always think if it can benefit you, I'm going to share it. If that's blown your mind a little bit, work through steps 1 to 5, you won't go wrong. We talked about clarity. If anything is unclear, I absolutely can't make it clear enough to request that you reach out and ask for help. If this isn't clear, you are going to go away and do nothing because you have confusion. You have clarity or confusion. It's clear or you're confused, right? Thumbs up, that makes sense. So you need absolute clarity, because what does clarity do? Clarity produces certainty. When we have certainty, we'll show up. Why would you show up with action and energy? Why would you put in time and effort if you aren't certain it's going to work? Why do you think when you do your 6-week challenge and I sell you this dream of getting the results in 6 weeks, why do you think you take action non-stop for 6 weeks? Because you're certain that you're going to get a result. So now you need to write your own plan and get clear on where you want to go next and create that certainty in yourself. I know if I show up and do this every week, plan out my meals, do my meal prep, whatever, and I do this every day, don't snack, track my calories, do my 10,000 steps, that I will get to where I want to go. And if you're not sure, come to us coaches and we will help you create that plan, adjust it, perfect it, so you've got the clarity, you've got the certainty. You know where you're going, you know roughly when you're going to get there as well. That's the key here. When am I wanting to get there by? Doesn't have to be exact, but it just puts a little bit of time pressure on it, and it takes away excuses, and it also builds clarity, because you can build in your mind that you are going to be there by the end of 2025. I am here. Now, one thing I do want to leave you with, for those of you that love this idea of building it in your imagination and writing out your I am statement, cool exercise to do is to sit there and go, it's the 31st of December 25, and I am looking back over the year. I am so proud, happy and grateful now that I have. And you list out all your achievements, how you look, how you feel, where you've run, what you've took part in, the competitions you've done, the 3 Peaks Challenge, and you write it all out. And you read that over and over and over and over and over again, and I'm going to tell you now, when you get to the 31st of December 2025, all of this will have become true. There is no way you can read that every day and sell yourself this dream and then not go and act on it. And some of you are going to sit there and go, oh, it's the 31st of December and I'm so happy now that I've got £1 million in my bank. It has to be somewhat reasonable, you've got to be able to sell yourself on it. And everyone's going to be at a different level than this. When you first start out, you might only be able to sell yourself on running a 5K. If you've been doing this a while, you could easily sell yourself on running a marathon. It's your game. Write that out. Even write it in a letter, read it for a couple of weeks, and then put a stamp on it and post it to yourself in December and open that up. Because here's the thing, 31st of December is going to come round whether you've done the work or not. I did that back in 2022, the 1st of January 2022, and I did this, and I was going to a hotel in Manchester for a seminar that I was attending for the day, and I wrote down and I said, it was the 30th of March, I said, it's the 30th of March 2022, I'm sat in the hotel room in the middle of Manchester, I can't remember the name of the hotel, I'm so happy, the Hotel Brooklyn, I'm so happy and grateful now that I listed out the achievements that I thought and proposed and dreamt up and imagined I would achieve in 3 months, and I sat in the hotel room and I'd achieved them all, and I've still got the letter today. This shit works. But if you feel like it's too much, work through this. Get clear on where you are. Recognise and celebrate how far you've come. Where are you going? What's the goal? When will you achieve it by? Why does it matter? What's your purpose for doing it? And how are you going to get there? Ask for help if you're stuck. That's the end of today's video. I hope you found this helpful. Comment now, let me know, was this helpful, yes or no? What did you take from it? And most importantly, if you're going to action this, when are you going to sit down with a nice pen, nice piece of paper or pad, When are you going to go to a coffee shop? When are you going to carve out an hour for yourself? Work through this, share with me your wins, drop me a message when you put the plan together, and ask for help if you're stuck. When are you going to do that? Because that's what this is about. It's not about me trying to motivate you. It's not about me trying to spark some ideas in your mind, get the fire going in your belly. This video today was all about me giving you an action plan that you can go and act on. Action's the key here. No more thinking. The thinking's done now. Action. And action can involve thinking, but at a higher level, at a different plane of thinking, right? We take out all the bullshit now, and we just follow the plan step by step. And if you're stuck, you ask for help. And if you're not stuck, you do the plan, and then you get to work. And Monday's round the corner. You could start today, you could start tomorrow, you could start a fresh start on Monday. But whatever you do something off the back of watching this. Finally, I just want to take a moment to say thank you for watching this, for listening to what I've got to say. I've loved getting this off my chest today. I've loved sharing it. I'm so grateful that we've got a space here where I can just turn up, I can share with free flow the passion that I have inside of me, the life purpose that I feel like I have to help people. And it's because of you being here and listening to this and being part of this incredible community that we have, that I could spend however long I've been going at it on a Saturday morning, spending my time doing something I love and sharing ideas that have truly, truly transformed my life and the lives of those that have followed these ideas that I've shared in the past. So thank you to you for your time, for your attention, and ultimately for everything that you bring to Barnsley Barbell. Now have an incredible day, get to work on the plan, ask for help if you're stuck. I've got to go now, my dad's rang me a couple of times, I've got to get home, showered and have food, and I've got a wedding to get to. So I'll see you soon. Have a good one, team. Thanks for tuning in.